Hello, 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 everybody. And thank you so much for tuning in to our Arc 2 Interlude episode. I am Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. And I am the GM and executive producer behind this here Shindig Transplanar RPG, which is our all transgender people of color led 100% homebrew Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live streamed actual play campaign set in an original non-colonial anti-orientalist world. You can find me on Twitter at @ByConnieChong, on itch at @ByConnieChong, and when I'm not doing this, I am also a GM for Magpie Games' curated play program, though I do believe all my May games are sold out as of this moment, but tune in June for Avatar official tabletop games that I'll be running, so that's interesting to you. Bookmark that site, magpiegames.com. I'm now going to pass along introductions to Devin.
Hello everyone, my name's Devin. I use they, them pronouns. I play Manaya. She's tall, she's strong, and we love her. You can find me on our Discord server, which is where we all are chatting right now. Just keep breathing.
Don't stop breathing, please.
It's a wonderful, wonderful place full of wonderful, wonderful people, including me, Max, Erica C, Connie, and especially B, who is not above me. Nope, is like down there, I think.
Down
I don't
middle.
know.
Yeah. Just point in our direction. Any direction, it's fine.
Share pictures of your pets, talk about the campaign, theorize, share pictures of yourself, because all y'all are beautiful. Play video games, share memes, I don't know, eat food or something, I don't know. Whatever you humans do. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. And I'll pass on instructions to Erica.
Hi everybody, it's me. I'm an Erica, she, her pronouns, and I play Vinox Scherzo, that lovable elf sorcerer who, no matter what you say, does not have a heart of gold. And you can also find me here on Twitch at Erica New Girl. Same with all my other socials, where I recently became a Resident Evil 7 speedrunner. I'm unofficially number 290th in the world.
What?
That's cool. Come check me out sometime. We like to be lewd but not rude with each other and have a good time. And with that, I will pass it. I'm going to skip our special guest and go over to Max for now.
Hey, I'm Max. I go by the other pronouns. I play Resident, not the worst dad in the world, but up there, Dewey Quirk. You can find me doing my sewing. I do things like pride flag masks. You can mainly find me on Instagram at Stitchmonger. I'm a pass it to C. Muted.
You are muted.
God damn it. Hello, everyone. My name is Cia, use they, them pronouns. I am a dancer, digital artist, tabletop streamer. You can find me streaming art on my own channel at pi_sharp on different days. I'm going to start a new segment where I invite other folks from the tabletop community to come onto my stream and chat with me about my characters as I draw them. Dungeons and Doodles, potential name, is what that's going to be. We'll see. I don't know. But tune in for that if you're interested in art and tabletop stuff and the intersections of all those things. I feel like I had something else to say, but now it's gone. It's gone. I'm ready for the beach. And I'm so shy. I am so excited to pass it over to our amazing special guest, B.
Yeah, what's up? Hello, all. I am your busy non-binary B Zelda. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me on Twitter as @B_Zelda. I sometimes post to Instagram. It's mostly selfies and dog pictures. I do have a cat, but she's all belly, so sometimes I'll just post pictures of her belly. So if you're into that, I'm B_Zelda_. And then I'm trying this thing where I get into TikTok. Honestly, it's really hard and I think I'm too old. But I did make a TikTok and it's B Zelda if you want to try and follow me there. So I like to do a lot of things. Podcasting, streaming, tabletop stuff in general, but most specifically today, I am coming to you as Bamba Bees. They are a swarm keeper ranger. They are a little satyr. They got these cute little fluffy legs, little hooves. And today they are wearing their best beach hat for today's session.
Awesome. Their best beach hat. Mm-hmm. We should do a pun counter where every pun makes a character lose, take psychic damage. So as a reminder, The only piece of programming that we do have is our weekly D&D session, this right here, Saturdays at 3 p.m. U.S. Central Time, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. So we would greatly appreciate your support in this adjustment by continuing to tune in on Saturdays, telling your friends about us, tweeting at us and about us, etc. It really helps. Every little bit of boosting helps. And with that, let's pass things along back to C to talk about our promo partners very briefly.
Yes, of course. You know us, you love us. We also love a lot of other people. So don't forget to check out our promo partners with other trans, queer, and BIPOC-led streams, pods, and projects by using the ! Promo partners command in chat at any point. And our merch store is also still available. There will be, I swear to you, I promise you that there will be an update to the merch store for Arc 3 starting next week. I promise. So use the ! Merch command to I know I say it every week, but I'm real. I swear to you this time, and I'm gonna do it. It will be updated, I promise you.
Everyone in chat, press X to doubt.
How could you? And I'll pass things over to Erica for our dono goals.
Hey everybody, here at Transplanar RPG, we love to acknowledge those who have, subbed or donated or given bits. And during episode 15, 2 weeks ago, we want to thank these people. Erica New Girl, don't know who that is. Fazman91, Crude Imposter Nightbright, Rika Honda, It's Probably Okay, Vinatao, Shao Dengeki, and Puki Piku. Thank you for your generous contributions. We really appreciate it. And as you can see on our overlay this week, we have a special donation goal of $100 for this Arc 2 interlude. All donations go directly to our guest star, B, and the effervescent B Zelda. Every $20 gets the party a point of collective inspiration, and reaching our goal of 100 grants an auto crit that anyone can use, including the GM. To donate, use ! Tip in the chat. And as always, subbing, cheering, and gift subbing supports us as your regular cast members. Max, could you remind us what's happening?
I would love to. I'd love to remind myself what's happening. As a reminder, you can always get to our recap document with our full Arc 2 synopsis by going to bit.ly/transrecap or using the ! Recap command in chat. If you don't want to read right now, here's what happened. Oka, Manaya, Du, and V rescue Manaya's parents from the depths of the Raven's Eye, a vicious whirlpool. Oka polymorphs V into a white dragon to make a daring escape, a feat that should be impossible. After all, dragons are extinct and the weeb has nothing to draw upon. But it works. Our heroes win the derby, technically, and now it's time for them to claim their prize, an audience with Atlanta, the champion of Nabal. So, I'm going to pass it to Devin for this week's episode.
Yeah, so as always, our episode titles come from BIPOC and or LGBTQIA+ poems or songs, and today's episode title is Demented by That Day of Leisure, which is from page 69, nice, of A Black Odyssey by Seth. The full stanza is really, really long, but I'm going to try to find a good place to start. Okay, so part of the full verse reads as follows. Happy in the unhappy struggle, and demented by that day of leisure, the day there be nothing to do but float. Float. Climb in the swimming pool and float. Stoke up the hot tub and float. Lay down the sword, the hammer, the ledger. Light up the pipe, lean back, and float.
Thank you, Devin. And now moving on to the session itself, let's get into it. Some content warnings for our campaign. And this particular special episode may include alcohol and substance use, addiction, death of loved ones, memory loss, body horror, gore, fantasy violence, emotional trauma and baggage, self-destructive behavior, bloodletting, cults and cult-like behavior, anxiety and panic attacks described in detail, poverty and classism, a refugee crisis, natural disasters, and economic injustice. So as a reminder to my players here, you can use the X card at any moment. I say X to sort of like indicate a landmine or anything, and we'll work together through the fiction to figure out a way forward. And before we begin, I just want to draw our attention to the fact that we've already hit $100 for our tip goal. So thank you, chat.
Let's go! More!
So we have a auto crit on the board already and 4 points of collective inspiration for anyone to use. Just as a reminder for everyone. Okay. So let's get started. I hope y'all are listening to your own Spotify playlists for licensed beach music.
Oh, I forgot. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's get.
We spent so much time talking about it too.
I know, right? Bacchanalia Beach is 64 acres of pristine white sand, glittering blue water, and the sweet, sweet smell of day drinking. Partiers of every shape and size gyrate under the hot, sunless sky, grooving to live music from nearby drummers, splashing into the cool water, lounging in the sand, eating meat skewers, drinking, smoking, laughing, dancing. Everywhere you look, you see drunken, ridiculous, wild revelry. To your left, you see a dwarf running off the edge of a 50-foot-tall cliff, screaming, "Cannonball!" As they plummet through the air. And right before they hit the surface of the water, which at that height would feel like concrete, an elf floating on an inflatable banana snaps his fingers and the dwarf feather falls gently into the surf. The elf says, "Looks like I still have magic, folks. Who's next?" And the next person cannonballs off the cliff. And to your right, you hear a roar and feel a massive gout of flame spit into the air from the mouth of a red dragon. But wait, it's just a puppet, made of painted grass, twigs, and leaves, with dragon dancers inside working the mouth, the legs, the sinewy spine, and tail. A performer operating the head takes a second swig of gas and ignites a brilliant jet of fire. Nearby partygoers whoop and cheer and clap, even as one of them, a tiefling, gets a little too close to the performance and Zir tail catches on fire. Z runs through the sand, Zir tail ablaze, laughing. And right in front of you, a ring of partygoers chant, "Fight! Fight! Fight!" as two pairs of combatants play a drunken game of chicken fighting. On one side, a minotaur carries a gnome on their shoulders, and on the other, a Goliath carries a halfling. The gnome and the halfling both wield a knife in one hand and a bottle of whiskey in the other, taking stabs at each other between swigs of hearty drink. The halfling scores a nasty gash along the gnome's face, who lets out a scream and bleeds as the partygoers laugh. But a dragonborn in the audience waves rear claw, the gash stitches itself back up, and the chicken fighting resumes. Also, everywhere you look, there are just so many slutty bards everywhere, playing their tunes, dancing their sultry dances, being slutty bards. And now our attention falls back to the four of you. Oka, Manaya, Dewey, and V. This scene of drunken revelry unfolds in front of you as you stand on the sandy dunes of Bacchanalia Beach. You are tired and weary from your week-long journey across the boundary waters, the Nibalian scrublands, and finally Lake Ingir, on whose shores you stand right now. You have seen horrors and endured traumas beyond most people's comprehension. You carry the burden of destiny on your shoulders. And now, here in Nepal, you witness perhaps the greatest incomprehension of all: people partying in the middle of an apocalypse. What do the four of you do?
Are you sure this is the right place?
I think Oka kind of like taps Manaya's arm and is like, "Let me get up on your shoulders. I could totally beat that guy.
Stop it.
No, come on, let me get up. I could totally do it."
Dewey's got his hands on Oka's shoulders trying to hold him down.
V's looking around and being like, there's a lot of people here whose probably their valuables are very loosely stored right now.
That is true. V, make a perception check.
Excellent.
Dewey doesn't have enough hands for this.
Did we come here? Are we here with anyone? Are we being guided, or were we told where to go?
You were told where to go. The ship that Rev, this newly fully realized paragon of the Raven Queen, had chartered for you across the boundary waters, and a wagon across the Nibalian scrublands, and then finally another ship to get across the lake to get here, which is Clothau Island, where Rasso is, which is the capital of the championship. You were escorted along with the rest of the Nabalian, let's say, degenerates who were participating in the race. You traveled here with them, but they've dispersed to go back home. Once they landed on the shores, they've either retreated deeper into Clothow Island to go home, or they've joined the revelry, right? And the two folks in charge of the Derby, Quicksilver, this Yuan-Ti cowboy, and Ace, this rat folk kind of simpering looking mean guy, always accompanied by his two Tide Wolf bodyguards. They basically told the two of you that to claim your prize, you had to find Atalanta, who's the champion of this place. But first, your best bet is probably to find the regent, who is Atalanta's basically second in command, who would be able to guarantee you that audience and just explain that you're winners of the Derby. And they had directed you to this beach, where they said, Quicksilver had said, well, that's likely where that fun-loving satyr's gonna be. Yeah, they're probably at Bacchanalia Beach. And they'd given you instructions to get here, which now presents the four of you alone in this scene of revelry. V, what did you get?
19.
19. Before I resolve that, yes, Manaya.
Are we not with the Bonebreakers?
The Bonebreakers, these sweet little lovely, the tiefling lore, the goblin scrum, and of course, who could forget the Aarakocra Quail Heart. Yeah, let's say they've tagged along. They're clinging onto your skirts, metaphorically and literally speaking, to also claim their prize, which is an audience with Atalanta. But as they're big-eyed, looking at all the celebrations, Quailheart just goes, I want to do the cannonball thing. And he starts fluttering his little, wings and going up to that cliff, getting out in front of you all. V, you're 19. As you scan this scene, there's so much to take in. And you were given a description of Bomba, right? As a dark-skinned satyr who's always having fun and partying and laughing and bouncing around with their furred hooves, wearing a flower crown on occasion. That's all. That's pretty much all you know about Bomba. And there's a lot of people here who match that description with your 19. What do you all do?
Right, let's just find this regent and get this over with.
Do we...
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, would you put your shirt back on? By the gods. Look, just because we're on the beach doesn't mean we're here to stay, right?
Well, I mean, we're here, right? I mean, it's hot. Do we look a little out of place, kind of covered in dirt and grime and wearing armor and weapons?
Yes, absolutely 100%. But the thing is, no one here really cares. And even as you're looking around, standing awkwardly on the fringe of the celebrations, you see a tiefling person comes up and literally has a hula hoop that they start throwing at y'all. Come on, join the fun! Come on in! And only Dewey, you know what they're saying, because none of you speak Nabalish except Dewey. What do the four of you do?
Dewey, give me one of those t-shirts you got.
I don't know. I don't want to know what you're... Yeah, okay, here. Hands on to token, looks away.
They just put it on. They just put the t-shirt on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all. But it's it's dad vibes. It's a t-shirt.
Totally. What do the four of you do?
I'm gonna cast Disguise Self.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn into my good friend Ronnie, but summer beach time Ronnie.
All right, can you remind us what Ronnie looks like?
Yep, so Ronnie is about the same height, but much brawnier. He's got a big old beard. He's the type of guy you see at a tavern. And, he's wearing swimming trunks. He's a little furry. He's a little furry, the rest of him. You never see Ronnie this, I guess, not wearing clothes. And he's just kind of strutting his stuff across the sand, maybe looking for... people. And
Okay.
Are you wearing Crocs?
Oh, Avi. I mean,
I was getting
whatever
the vibes,
Andake's
but...
version of Crocs are, Ronnie would
Yeah.
have them.
Are you on sport mode,
Perfect.
Ronnie? Have you flipped the,
Yeah,
flipped the thing down?
This is hey, do you know where the weight room is, love?
Are you saying this in common?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, as you're strutting around, like a couple of people turn and look and they start like pulling you into the revelry. You find yourself with like a bottle of whiskey like shoved into your one hand, and then like a flower crown shoved into the other. And someone else starts going on you, starts trying to paint Ronnie's face with face paints, but I think it goes through the illusion and starts painting your actual face, V. But they seem like so like, having fun, that so exuberant that they don't even care that it's an illusion, right? That they're painting you. Manaya, Oka, Dewey, how are the three of you responding to this?
I suppose I can't be helped. You two go have fun. Dewey, would you help me? You speak Nabalish, right?
Yeah, are you sure we should leave them on their own? That seems like...
Hey V, let me help you with that. Ronnie, let me help you with that. And I think Oka, like their double pupils are like a little like with the kind of like intense sunlight, they're like contracting a little bit. So they like, they grab a pair of sunglasses just off somebody else's face and they take like whatever they're smoking out of their mouth, and they're ready, they're here.
Great, wonderful. So Manaya and Dewey, are the two of you intent on finding Bamba while Oka and V enjoy the festivities?
Yeah, I think Dewey might gesture over to like is there like a tropical bar somewhere that he can like
Yes.
take a seat and
Yes,
like scout
100%. Yeah, there's I think there's like a peacock-like Aarakocra behind the counter as you go up, and they speak to you in like quick Nabalish. They go, "What would you like to drink there, sire?"
Whatever's most popular. I don't. Yes. Two of whatever's most popular.
Lemonberry daiquiri it is then. And they start like squeezing lemon berries that look like just like blueberries but like huge and yellow into like this cup, and they start like juicing it and they start like putting alcohol in it. And Manaya, do you follow Dewey up to this bar?
Yeah, I mean, I trust Dewey. He's the only one who speaks Nabalish that Manaya knows. When they sit down, Manaya turns to Dewey and says, right, could you get me like a, speaking in Han, could you get me like a water, no extra stuff, no spike, no Nabalian, whatever they put in their drinks.
Oh, you're
yeah,
Uhan, sure. Says the barkeep, who responds to you in fluent Uhan and says, "I'll get you a water right away, ma'am," and turns and like, shh, and you see like a just like a tap into a tree that they turn, and like the tap comes out with like fresh tree water, and they hand it to you. And Manaya, while you're sipping this water, and while like quote unquote Ronnie and Oka are starting to make their way through the crowd, you hear something that perks up your appointed ear. Right, you hear something like through the crowd, given your passive perception. And Bamba, why don't you tell us all what Manaya in particular would hear that is a little unusual, even in the midst of all this revelry? Something that perks her ear.
I think if sharks can roar, it is the roar of a shark who has been pulled out of the water a little bit. And if anybody were to kind of like peer through the crowd and like there's some really intense like chanting, I think it's like go, 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 go. And whoever's like maybe the tallest or the shortest can kind of like see through the legs, and there is a half-beached shark and a satyr kind of laying on the ground with their hands out in like an arm wrestling position, and they have that shark's fin in their hands.
Are they winning? Would you like to make a strength check, Bamba?
Yes.
Go for it.
Are you winning?
Are they winning? Let me tell you, they're not very strong.
This shark is beached, so I'll give it disadvantage.
Okay, hear me out. I got a 6. However, I think I have mage hand. I do.
Mage hand!
Are you gonna apply that extra 10 pounds of force with your mage hand?
And it's in the shape of like my bees. They wrap around like gloves, and you hear chants of like, "That's cheating!" And Baba just like, "No, this works. It's me. I'm a bee. This is how it is." And then they crush the competition.
Yeah, boom! And then the entire crowd around the beach shark go, "Yeah!" And they start chanting, "Bamba, Bamba!" And they surge forward and they like bring Bamba onto their shoulders and start chanting, "Bamba, Bamba!" And at this point, all 4 of you see and hear this. And Bamba, would you like to describe what they see as you surge up onto the shoulders of your beloved audience?
You see a short little satyr. They've got really floofy, fuzzy, hairy brown legs, cute little hooves. They are wearing like a top that kind of wraps around their chest. And it's hard to tell if they have more clothing than that or if it's just bees. Every now and then the bees kind of like swarm to make like a little cardigan or something, and then they'll go off and like create a little cloud and give like the crowd a thumbs up or like fist bump one of the other party goers. They're pretty involved in not only what Bamba wears, but how Bamba's feeling.
Awesome. I love that. I think Oka and V, because the two of you are in the mist, you are the closest. What do you do?
I think Oka like slings an arm over V. V as Ronnie, Vonnie, one could say, and starts cheering like Bamba, like they're just kind of like Bamba, 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 and they're like, hold on, wait, Bamba. Wait, Bamba, Bamba. And they like, I think like behind the crowd, they're like trying to push through and be like, Bamba, Regent Bamba,
Are you speaking in
One of the
common?
bees
Yes.
waves at you.
Okay, Bamba, I think you hear Oka and you cut a wave through the crowd, right? And something about Oka actually grabs your attention more than the rest of the revelers. What is it, Bamba?
That's a really good question. And I feel like this kind of question is based on something that I really should have remembered. So I am just going to keep talking some words until it quite comes back to me. And I think it's that, as a regent, Bamba is supposed to do some responsibilities. Just because they don't doesn't mean that they don't think about what they're supposed to do every now and then. So there's like a tickle in their memory that they had an appointment today. But it's been like 5 hours since they last thought about it. So they like lock eyes with you and they gesture to the crowd like, okay, let me down. My feet, my little hooves must touch the ground. And they're slid off the shoulders of a minotaur and they're going to trot right up to you.
Awesome. I think the crowd actually parts, right? Because even though this is the middle of revelry, you're still the regent. And they part like the Red Sea to sort of like form like a path, like an aisle of just like drunken breath and like dancing bodies and gyrating hips until you are face to face with Oka next to V. And at this point, Manaya and Dewey, you've seen the crowd part. You've seen Bamba come down and approach Oka and V. What do the two of you do?
Is that them?
Yeah, we should probably get
Right. And Inuhan, I turned to the person who gave us the news and like, thank you for the water. It was quite delicious.
Certainly, that'll be 3 gold pieces, please.
Sure.
Dewey, do you pay the price?
Yeah, I just slide them
Okay.
across and pick up my 2 drinks.
Yeah, it is very obvious that they're like poaching y'all because like you're clearly like tourists or like new here. So 3 gold pieces is the equivalent of like $80 for like 2 drinks. So the two of you sidle on off to where Bamba is meeting Oka and V for the first time. So Oka, V, Bamba, what do the 3 of you say to each other?
Regent Bamba, you are Regent Bamba?
I might. Who's asking?
We're the Derby winners, the Bone Breakers.
Oh, yeah. I got like a letter, I don't know, last year, maybe yesterday. Time is really weird. Yeah, I've been expecting you.
Since last year?
Well, I don't really know. I've been partying for quite some time now, Sometimes I wake up and then I just go back to partying, and then I wake up and then I party, and then I don't know how much time passes.
You sound like my kind of friend. I want to be your friend.
Hello, those Crocs are amazing. Can I try one on? Just one.
All right. And V kicks one off and it flies through the air and lands in B's hands.
Bamba puts one Croc on their hoof. It doesn't fit, but wow, does it look cool.
And actually, because it's an illusion, you just step right through it.
It still looks so cool. Their foot's just through the Croc, and the Croc wouldn't have fit anyways, so it's styling. Yes, welcome. What are you doing here again?
We won the Derby. We won the Derby. We're supposed to talk to Atalanta.
Derby.
but did you win a contest of your hearts?
Oka kind of just turns to look at V like.
Well, I did become a dragon.
That's pretty. You weren't a dragon before?
Not to my knowledge.
Whoa! Well then, do I have the party game for you? What is your name, Croc one Croc wearer?
Most people call me Ronnie, but you can call me V.
Wow, what a name that really just works together. There's so many letters in V that appear in Ronnie too. I like this. Well then,
It's a very Jukayan spelling.
that means something to me for sure.
And I think at that point, Manaya and Dewey, the two of you have arrived on the scene right as Bamba, you feel like a kind of wet, like tapping on your back, and you know exactly what that means. Ribbit, the oldest motherfucking grung any of you have ever seen, sort of like a tropical, like a poison dart tree frog, is like leaning on a cane, and he is so beleaguered. He looks so tired, and he's got like glitter that someone's like thrown on him, like all over his like big bulbous eyes, and he just says to you, Bamba, "My regent, these are the winners of the derby, and as such they're trying to claim their audience with Atalanta. But of course, as the regent, it is your right to offer them trials."
I was just gonna offer them drinks and snacks, and maybe like a surfboard swim. You know, the shark is teaching me how to surf underwater. It's really impressive. But right. Let me just pick that one piece of glitter out of your eye. There we go. See you again.
Thank you. You're
good.
I
I'm just gonna put
appreciate
that
it.
right on the top of your forehead, though. It looks good there. And Bumba's gonna like spin around to the party again. Right. You want to speak to who again?
We're trying to find Atalanta, the champion. Are you
So cool.
Are you quite certain that you are the regent?
Yep, this is my last year. I did a really good job. Just look at this place. And it's just like swaying people. Somebody's just like fallen over. Somebody does a cannonball. It's a lot, and it's okay.
I really love what you've done to the place. And V pretends to take a swig of the whiskey and then uses minor illusion to cast a giant fireball spitting into the air.
I'm so vulnerable to fire. The grung assistant like cowers away from it. At this point, Manaya and Dewey, the two of you have arrived on the scene where you've overheard all of this coming up, and Bamba seems like a little like shifty, maybe? Like maybe not shifty, but like almost like they're just here to have a good time. They don't really know what you're here to claim, etc. So Manaya and Dewey, how did the two of you react? What did the two of you do after arriving on the scene?
Right. I think maybe Manaya overheard just enough to realize that this is the regent, and gives an Uhana salute. It's like, right, Regent Bamba, we are here to request an audience with the champion.
Okay.
Where are they at?
Oh, I'm not bringing you. What? I'm not gonna bring you there. You have to pass my tests first.
But we
You have
won.
to prove yourself to me.
Snack test.
We won the derby. I thought that was the test.
Did I get to see the derby?
Did you?
No. I
Saw
was
like
probably here. Not that I can remember.
I saw like an eye flying around. Was that not something you could see?
Two
No.
eyes.
Everything happening outside of the championship, Bamba doesn't have to pay attention to. So yes, you might have won this prize, but it is entirely up to our glorious regent whether or not they'll let you through. So you better impress them.
Right. My apologies, Regent.
Yeah, thank you. I love a good apology. Do you want
And
a snack now? Have
Perhaps,
some watermelon.
yes. Watermelon challenge! The grung sort of like shouts out at the crowd, and immediately, like a hive of bees, the crowd disperses, right? They start setting up, like, very quickly, like a colony of ants, like building like an impromptu stage, like grabbing like planks of wood, like driftwood that have like washed up. You see like a couple of like people working the bar, like roll out like watermelons that are really big, and then like a mountain of watermelons like falls out from behind a rock that they rolled over, and then you see a gigantic watermelon, maybe like the size of like a giant boulder, being like rolled by no fewer than 3 or 4 like Nabalian revelers, and they're like through the sand, and they roll it up onto a stage, and on the other side like 3 or 4 Nabalian revelers roll like an identically large boulder up onto this makeshift stage. And Ribbit, your grung assistant Bamba, like bows, like gives a bow to you and says, "If you would like to tell them the terms of this contest, my liege."
Yeah, totally. All right, I present, and with like a flourish, the snack. This challenge is a watermelon. Who can consume the most watermelon in the least amount of time? This is a one-on-one challenge because I hold the world the world record on this island. But I hold the world record, and only those who beat me can ever go speak to the name that I will write down because she is very important to me, and you want to go see her.
Atalanta, my liege.
Atalanta.
Yes.
Thank you.
And maybe you like literally pull out a notebook and like write it down.
I idolize her, but heck, sometimes when you forget the days, you forget people's names.
I forget my name every day almost.
That makes your name is Ronnie V. It's not an easy name, though. Yeah.
It only gets more complicated the more you know me.
Oh, I look forward to that. Will you take my watermelon challenge?
Sure, why not? I'll say I love a good watermelon.
Okay, so it will be Ronnie V versus Bamba the Regent and our glorious leader of this beautiful country. Okay, as Bamba has told you, the rules are quite simple. The first person to finish eating this watermelon wins. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Which
bird.
Would you consider this a strength contest or a constitution?
I'm not sure what those terms mean, you dirty wet pigeon.
Wow,
I will say. But what I will say is that there are no rules except to win. Yes, Bamba? My regent?
Uh-huh. You got it.
Great. Any matter, any strategy you would like to deploy is valid. So in metagaming terms, for each of these contests, right, all of y'all PCs, Bamba, yourself included, you can deploy any number of class abilities, spells, magic items, feats, or skill checks, whatever you want to tackle each particular challenge. And we're just gonna let the fiction guide us first, and I'll call for rolls as they come up. And if contests are necessary, I'll call for them as well. Does that feel good to folks? Okay, wonderful. And out of character B, if you're ever stuck, you can ask Ribbit for like what's next, because I will help you out.
I took decent notes, but also I don't put them in good places.
No worries. I think it's very in character that like Bamba just doesn't know.
What is my job again?
Yeah.
Leader of the country. Leader of the country is your job.
Actually, I maybe have a question about that. That's sort of out of character, but also sort of in character. As this is all going on, Oka is maybe taking a moment to reflect on not only like, I want to know about our week-long journey. Like, did we pass struggling towns, people being attacked by monsters, like massive apocalyptic trouble, and also reflecting on how that is like happening also everywhere else. But like, what kind of was like our journey like? Was it pretty typical of the kind of apocalypse we've seen so far?
Yes. So actually, I think this is a great opportunity for us to flesh out your journey like together as a 4-person party. As you know, the watermelon is like rolled into place, and like various members of the audience start like putting like decorating you, Bamba. Like they start putting glitter on you, in preparation for the watermelon eating contest, and throwing glitter onto V. Yes, this is totally normal. This is just an absolute normal part of being a regent. I would love to hear from each of our 4 PCs, Oka, Manaya, Dewey, and V, maybe one thing you saw on your way here that has like stuck with you. Whether it is like a magical anomaly, like huge pillars of water rising out of the surf, you know, in the boundary waters, or like, you know, starving groups of people whose homes have been destroyed, etc. So whoever has something, an image or an experience they'd like to share first, can go.
I think we maybe slept one night in what seemed to be like like the edges of what looks like it was once a like maybe a like temple or some kind of like retreat of that nature to Scott and Nectus, but it looked like it had practically like fallen into like a deep sinkhole. And I think we maybe like spent a night camping like on the outskirts of that, and like it seemed to be completely abandoned, but there were still like old papers and letters maybe.
Yeah, I think it makes sense if this was in the Nabalian scrublands after you'd completed your ocean journey across the boundary waters. And I think maybe what stood out to all 4 of you in particular is that there was blood on the ground and like ruined scraps of clothing, but no bodies. So you took camp a little like uneasily, but you could hear the screeching of like monsters in the distance, but none of them attacked you, thankfully, that night. I really like that, Oka. Why don't you have a point of inspiration for that? And Oka, why don't you pass the memory stick along to someone else?
Who wants the memory stick? Erica wants the memory stick.
Yeah. During the trip across the boundary waters, one night V was sort of like on the ship looking overboard and looked down in the water, and for a moment thought that her eyes may have been playing tricks on her. You know, there's no moonlight or anything at night anymore, so it's dark, but she swore she saw the sort of the imagery of her experience where she saw Rev with Scott and Nectus. But she swore she saw that there, and then it sort of rippled away into like a white dragon and like went away from the boat and just like freaked her out a little bit. And I don't know, that has been playing in her mind because she's finally had time to think about all of that for the first time since it happened.
I love that. And did you say this was in the boundary waters?
Yeah, as we're sailing across the water.
I really like that. And I think actually while you were like looking at this image and thinking maybe this is just in your psyche, as the rest of you like looked over into the water as well, Oka, Dewey, and Manaya, you also saw visions, but from your own past and from your own interior monologue, right? So why don't each of you like tell me quickly like what troubles, what stresses you saw surface on the surface of this water? Who has something?
So I think in the same vein of seeing people and then it going away from the boat, Manaya maybe was reminded of that fateful day where her parents walked off onto the boat and she saw them for the last time for the next 7 years.
I really like that. And Oka, Dewey?
I think that Dewey saw kind of an indescript memory of, or like a vision of his child sitting alone at a desk and like engrossed in what they're working on, and just like not around any other people.
Yeah, okay. Your child just alone at a desk, you know, with tons of papers everywhere. And maybe you're looking from the perspective of like an open door, right? But they're like hunched over writing, and they don't, no friends, you know, no companions, nothing. They're just alone. It's just you looking at them. And last but not least, Oka, what do you see in the waters?
I think Oka just sees themselves reflected back in the water, but then for a moment in this kind of like fantastical water shaping memory, their wings sprout behind them and flash with those red eyes and then disappear into the water like it was never there.
I really like that. Why don't all of you have a point of inspiration for that? If you're already full up, too bad. You do not get to go more than 3. So I believe that means everyone, bases are fully loaded. I think everyone, all of our regular PCs have 3 points of inspo.
Like my first time in the entire campaign.
I know, right? Great, I love that. So who else hasn't gone for describing something? Okay. So after like our 4 PCs have traversed the boundary waters, like leaving that like odd area of ocean behind, then maybe you've like now dubbed like, I don't know, like some sort of magic had polluted that part of the water to like drag up the worst parts of your memory and bring your troubles literally to light. And then, of course, there was the ruined temple in the Nabalian scrublands. And Manaya, what is something that stood out to you on your journey?
I think in the scrublands, I think she hasn't been in a desert for a while. It's been at least a few weeks since we'd even traversed across the Republic to get to the court. So maybe the heat got to her just a little bit. And like the dry air, she's really not used to it being a Han. And maybe they were walking past just like an abandoned shack out in the middle of nowhere, old and dusty, and she maybe saw maybe like, so there's this shack, and for a moment she thought she saw a man like sitting outside of that shack, like groaning in pain, like holding his arm, and she broke away from the group and ran up to try to help this man, but it was just the trick of the light.
And I can I add on to that and say, as you ran up and the man disappeared, I think maybe like the ground caved in a bit as like a huge, like it was like the mouth of a huge monster that was using like that as a lure, right? Sort of like as a what's it called? Those deep sea fish, anglerfish. Almost like the man was like the lure on an anglerfish. And then like the 4 of you like had to fight the monster and like get away from that situation. But that monster very much like the shack and the man were there to it was there to eat and trap you. And after defeating the monster, perhaps you saw like in its belly, you saw, the skeletons, the dissolved bones of other people who had tried to help this man, but had not been able to fight through this huge like worm underneath the desert earth. And of course, I believe that just leaves Dewey, right?
Mm-hmm. I think that a night or two before we arrived in Nepal, or where we are right now, it was late one night and Dewey was up writing and everyone else was, I think, asleep, passed out. And he started to basically like have a panic attack, paranoia that people and monsters were out to get him. And I think Rev was the one who was awake. And she kind of reassured him that she still gonna protect him from the dude trying to kill him. Yeah.
Okay, so you had like a nice bonding moment with Rev before she had to leave and go back to the court, I think, and like take care of stuff in her home country. Okay, I really like that. Oh, y'all are so talented. And okay, so maybe off of that final flashback, we are brought back now to the present, the scorching, sunless heat. The hot, white, pristine sands. This stage made of driftwood. 2 gigantic watermelons, Bamba on 1 watermelon, and V. You have self-elected / Bamba has volunteered you to be the one to eat this watermelon, but you do have a chance to back out and let one of your other party members take the instead. So Oka, Manaya, Dewey, V, who's gonna eat this watermelon?
Oh, trust me, I have a game plan.
And Ronnie,
Mhm.
I can't promise much, but if you need a little help, I'm there for you. Just let me know. Give me a sign.
Interesting. I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
I hand my giant sword over to V, and I say, just if you need any help slicing and dicing, you know what to do.
V tries to grab it, and it instantly is like way too heavy for her with her -2 strength. She's like, you know what? I think I'll let you keep this. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll be all right.
As you hand
Alright.
the sword back to Dewey, was the sword in its hilt, Dewey, that you handed to V?
Uh-huh.
You feel the sword vibrate, and Dewey, you hear in your head, "Oh, Father, please, please, I crave violence. Please let me out. Let me dice up that watermelon. It's been so long. It's been 15 episodes since I've seen any action, please." I thought you'd forgotten about me. Father, no.
You'll get your chance. You'll get your chance.
Well, I have my favorite character.
Yes, Dewey has a sentient sword. And you put your sword away. V, you stride up to your watermelon. Bamba, you stride up to yours. The rest of the PCs, Oka, Manaya, and Dewey, you are standing right at the front. You've got like front row. You're in the splash zone, baby. And like there's like various other grungs now. They're like, please stay back, careful. This might be dangerous. We can't guarantee your safety. Like forming like a little like breach area in front of the stage. And it's time. Ribbit holds up like a small gong. And he says, "Are the competitors ready?"
Ready!
Ready as I'll ever be.
Gong! Eat! So Bamba and V roll initiative.
Oh my god.
Oka obviously just starts chanting, eat, eat, eat,
15.
eat.
The crowd
got
picks that
15.
up with you.
I love that. Okay, V got a 15. Bamba?
21.
Oh my god. Okay, Bamba, you dig in first. What's your first move?
I think my first move would be to cut a Bomba-sized hole in
Okay.
the watermelon on the outside, so I could jump in with my bees and
And just start
snacking.
eating from the inside out.
Yeah.
My god, I love that.
So,
Do you
like an
have
attack roll?
Yeah, do you have like a sword or anything? How are you cutting it open?
I have like a weird sword. A corpse slayer Yiklwa.
What the hell?
Good.
I'm sorry, what?
I can't pronounce it. It's YKLWA. Yiklwa?
Okay.
It's cool. It
What-
is super cool.
What does it look like?
I think it's like a C-shaped blade. So really not prime watermelon cutting, but when you have to cut holes in watermelons, it is strangely useful.
Okay.
Also, I googled it again. Also, it is just a straight sword.
But I like the curved idea, actually. I'll give you a point of inspiration for that.
Yeah.
So you can write that down. We can stack up to 3 here. So yeah, you take out your sickle, basically, shaped sword, and you start cutting into this watermelon. So make an attack roll for me to see how effective that is.
Right. 7.
Okay, you can use collective inspiration here. 7 is not quite going to cut it. I will give you a hard choice if you want to keep the 7, or you can use
Literally.
inspiration.
Literally, it won't cut it. Literally.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm gonna remove 2 points of inspiration from you, C, for that pun. Like I said, this is a pun-free zone.
Oh, you said the opposite.
The DM would be.
Shh. So, Bamba, would you like to use inspiration or take the L?
Oh, I'll use inspiration.
Okay.
Everyone in this watermelon.
Awesome. Personal or collective?
Do I have personal? You gave me one, right?
Yes.
How do you handle inspiration? 1d4, 6?
Oh, you just get to re-roll your d20.
Oh, rerolls. Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's do it up then.
Awesome. Are you gonna use the inspiration from the pool or the one I just gave you?
I'll use the one you gave me.
Sounds good.
Leave the collective one for a little bit longer.
Great.
All right. 19.
Okay, that is more than sufficient. Roll damage on the watermelon.
All right, so Bomba's definitely kind of like struggling. I think maybe they started like the butt end of a watermelon, how you don't really cut the butt. Like,
Sure.
It's harder. So like they started there. It's like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. And that is for 7 damage.
Okay, that is sufficient to cut.
Ever.
Go for it.
Oh, mhm.
Go ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead.
My bees get to attack when my attacks hit.
Okay.
Right.
Do they make an attack
Um,
roll?
They don't have to make an attack roll as long as I've hit. They just kind of like follow behind me and they like slap against the watermelon with their little butts, like their little stingers.
Oh my
They just, like,
god.
like perforated papers. Oh, I just punched my mic. That you can like when it's
Yes.
perforated, you could just like open it so easily. So they really set up like a little template for me.
I love it.
And that's 1d8 damage.
Awesome. So roll it. Go for it.
All right. It's going to be for an extra 5.
Okay, 12 damage total. Yeah, you cut that watermelon open. Describe it to me. Describe what it looks like as you do this.
Again, so it's a bit of a struggle at first. Bamba didn't really think of the angling. You know, when they rolled that watermelon up, they didn't like set it up perfectly. Also, thank you for whoever looked up pronunciation. Yikawa. I was so close. So close. Yeah, so like they eventually like they get their weapon inside the Yikawa, and then like they start to like try to like reach at it. I don't know the word I'm looking for. But they're just a little satyr. But then as long as their attack hits, those bees just zoom in and start stabbing with their butts, which creates like a nice little way for me to create a little hole and jump on in.
I love that. That's so cool. Take another point of personal inspiration for that. As you like wrench this like chunk out of the shell of the watermelon, and you go in and you start going for it. But now it's V's turn. V, you hear the buzzing of bees and the hacking of steel against watermelon flesh to your right. What do you do?
I would like to. This is a little weird, but I would like to cast Knock to open up the watermelon. I know it's a little stretch, but give me some leeway here.
Okay, can you read the text of Knock to me?
Fuck, I knew you were going to say this. Let's see. Let's see. Well, this doesn't have. Choose an object that you can see within range. The object can be a door, box, chest, a set of manacles, a padlock, or any other object that contains a mundane or magical means that prevents access. I'm doing the shell of the watermelon, preventing me access. A target that is held shut by a mundane lock, or that is stuck or barred, or becomes unlocked, unstocked, or unbarred. If the has multiple locks, only one of them is unlocked. I believe this isn't being held by arcane lock, so
it is not. It is just a really big watermelon. So I will allow it, but I'm gonna call for a roll here.
Sure.
I'm gonna dealers, your choice. So you're either gonna have to make an Arcana check to see how you can finesse your magic to burst this puppy open, or a sleight of hand check to guide the knock.
I will do Arcana because I want to use sleight of hand later.
roll for it.
18.
That is sufficient. V, describe to me how the watermelon cracks open, perhaps like an egg.
So V is just going to leap up dexterously, way more dexterously than you would think the body type of Ronnie could do, on top of the watermelon. And legend has it, for those with just the right set of eyes, see something gleaming in the palm of Ronnie's hand, almost like a diamond that you really can't see otherwise, spark green for a second as Ronnie pushes it down onto the watermelon, and then from 300 feet in any direction, you can hear this gigantic knock sound, this cracking open of watermelon.
So it just splits open into perfect slices, does it? Or like...
It can be a little messy. I would like it to be still kind of together, but I can get into the center kind of like what B did.
Okay, like you cracked open, like it's like a crack. Okay, sure. It splinters
maybe like the
open.
alien egg. The alien
yes, like
eggs.
on the cover of Alien, the poster. I love it.
Yeah.
So you crack it, and you can see like delicious, like gooey, like red flesh of the watermelon inside, and it smells so good. It's so fragrant. And now both of you have to tunnel in and start eating. So before the two of you start eating, Oka, Manaya, and Dewey, I'll give the three of you a chance to interfere. Would you like to?
I mean, nothing is above board here, so don't feel bad about anything.
Manaya is gonna wait for Ronnie's signal in case he needs more help.
Okay, Oka, Dewey?
Oka's just chanting really hard, but also part of. Well, actually, I think they started chanting, and then as like this all happened, I think they just kind of like stopped, and it's like almost horrible. You know, it's like almost horrible to watch this. I think they're just watching in like abject confusion.
I love that. What about you, Dewey?
So reach to the stage.
Yeah, you
How
are.
close are we?
You're maybe like 10 feet away.
Okay. Stop. Hey. I I think Dewey's also just watching in abject horror, like wiping away bits of watermelon that are splashing against his
You're in the
glasses.
splash zone, yeah, as both like watermelons crack open. Like all three of you are hit by bits of watermelon and seeds that like speckle your faces, this like sticky, wet, red juice. All right, so let's go back to Bamba and V. Bamba, you go first. How are you eating it?
That is a wonderful question, and I've been really scrolling thinking, like, what move doubles as I've consumed a bunch of watermelon? So I'm thinking this is so difficult.
There are no wrong answers. I let V use knock. Okay, you can justify anything.
I think what I'm gonna do is cast where is it? I've got like here it is, healing spirit. I call forth a nature spirit to soothe the wounded. In this case, wounded is gonna be a Temiak. So this bee, it's gonna be a giant spectral bee. If you've ever seen, I think there was post a picture in our chat, and then if we can get it into Discord, it's just like just picture giant see-through bee. So they show up. They take about 5 feet. They're a big heckin' bee, and they're just gonna hang out inside of the watermelon with me, just like gently like poking me with their little stingy butt to be like, "You're okay. Keep eating watermelon. You're okay. Keep eating watermelon." And then we're just gonna rinse and repeat that.
I love that. Okay. So
Cast a level 3 spell. Oh, I need second level spells.
maybe from the audience and from V's perspective, you just see ghostly wings like appear outside of the watermelon, and like bzzz, like noise, and like encouraging bee noises, I suppose.
Yes.
As Bamba starts scooping, are you just scooping with your hands like chunks of watermelon flesh and shoving it into your mouth?
Yep. And like my little swarm of bees are taking like little baby bee bites.
Oh my god, I love that.
They're doing their best, but like I don't know how helpful it is.
That is so
You know what,
cute.
every bit counts.
So I think that means you go at a normal pace, but you don't slow down, because every time your stomach starts to feel a little too full, like that stinger jabs you and you feel better now. And you keep going. You're slow but steady like the tortoise here, okay? So now we go to V. How are you gonna eat?
So I'm inside of the watermelon, and if you could see inside the watermelon, you would see Ronnie pulling at his chest, his chrysalis robes that are transformed to look like skin, and so all of a sudden this green chrysalis robe comes off, and Ronnie starts literally just grabbing chunks of watermelon and putting it on top like a blanket, and getting Mage Hand even to just put as much watermelon into here. The idea being, once it's full, to like put it into a little bundle, dimension door out of there across the ocean, drop it off in the ocean, and come and then dimension door a second time back into the watermelon.
You're literally unhinged, Erica. So that's gonna take a few rolls.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Make a sleight of hand check to see how well you can scoop this and how quickly you can scoop all the flesh off.
Does a 23 win?
Yes, a 23 allows you to do it without a hitch. So your Mage Hand, and you're just like you can't see what's happening, Oka, Manaya, and Dewey, but you see this watermelon rock. like V's watermelon rock. And you scoop it all into this chrysalis robe. And yeah, before Bamba finishes, you've got it all inside the robe. You tie it up with your 23 sleight of hand check. And how is Dimension Door gonna work?
So Dimension Door, I just grab it because I can take an object with me, and I'm just gonna, it's like I just disappear. I can go, God, I should get the feetage right.
Feet?
500, yes. So it's actually going to be sort of in an uphill angle, so that I'm almost like I'm up in the clouds, and no one can probably see me because they're all looking at the thing, and I just drop it into the ocean, and then all of a sudden, just as I'm falling, just right back in, because I cast it a second time to find myself back in the watermelon.
Okay, that is a stealth check to see if you can do this without anyone seeing that you're like cheating.
I'm going to use 1 point of collective inspiration.
Okay.
And hold on. What is my stealth? 14.
Okay, that is going to be, I'm going to say that's going to be a mixed success. So
Okay.
I will give you a hard choice. So V, as you and reappear above the clouds, right? You've miscalculated a little. If you drop the watermelon here, some people in the back might see it like fall, like the long way down and then splash into the ocean. Or you can try to like hedge your bets a bit and try to drop and get closer to the surface of the ocean, but you might get injured in the process.
Let's go. I want to play dangerous. I'm going to shoot down like a bullet straight towards the water, holding the bag like it's a bomb straight at the ocean.
Make a finesse check. I guess that's just a dexterity saving throw. Oh boy.
I can't believe this is how we get our TPK. This episode is we get the TPK.
I want to use a point of collective, or just my personal inspiration.
Personal? Okay, you have 2 left.
Because I rolling that one.
I wish you took it, but okay.
You said saving throw. Okay,
yes.
So 21.
Okay, that is sufficient. So as you plummet through the air, like it's like feet before you slap onto the ocean and turn into a V pancake. But then you drop your robes, or do you just open up your robes?
I'm going to drop the robes. I'm going to get rid of those chrysalis robes finally.
Okay, I like that character choice. Take a point of inspiration so you regain that point, you monster. You drop the robes into the middle of the ocean, and I think you see that that beached shark that had finally rolled back into the surf, like look up as like these chunks of watermelon fall down onto it, and it goes, no! As you dimension door back inside the watermelon. But Bamba, you're right there. Make a perception check.
Ooh, yes. Honestly, I'm not very perceptive, but we'll find out. Ooh, 18.
Okay. Okay. You, V, what does Bamba hear or smell or see that sort of might alert them to the fact that you're cheating a bit as you return?
You're going to hear, because of the terminal velocity of heading towards the ocean still kind of affects the thing. So I kind of like slap into the bottom of... Because
there's like a wet slapping noise.
Yeah, and you just like you see from the outside the watermelon shake back and forth, and you shake. Oh, wow!
Okay, you hear that, Bamba, and at that point, I think you're pretty much done eating. So the two of you, do you signal to Ribbit, the referee?
Oh yeah. Mage hand with my bees.
Okay, all the bees form like a little hand, and maybe the ghostly bee also like raises its little like tiny little cute little paw. Wait,
yeah,
leg.
Little fuzzy arm.
Fuzzy arm, yes, exactly. V, do you also signal to the referee that you're done?
V is going to just scrape whatever more watermelon and just like rub it all over her face and
Jesus.
Be like, oh my God, I am so done. I couldn't have another bite if my life depended on it.
Okay, Bamba, as you step out of your watermelon, right, and everyone starts cheering because it's the end of the competition. V, you step out. V, make a performance check for me to see how well that goes over with Ribbit.
Nat 20, baby!
What? You convince even all my bees. They believe you now.
I think a couple of, Ribbit goes, amazing. The best performance I've ever seen. Barring the regent, of course. A bunch of servants and attendants run up and they turn, the watermelon to face outward. And all of you, Oka, Manaya, Dewey, and the entire audience, you see 2 perfectly hollowed out watermelons that had been finished eaten at the same time. And Ribbit says,
2 rounds of combat was 2 minutes.
I know.
For 1 minute, 10 seconds, 20 seconds.
I think that was more like 20 seconds.
That was 20 seconds. Jesus Christ.
Wow, we're good.
Yeah, maybe Bamba, your tummy's kind of bloated, right? As this big ghostly bee.
Belly.
Yeah, dude, it's so cute. And the referee, Ribbit, says, dang it, it's a tie. And the crowd goes, woo! And they clap and they cheer. And Oka, Dewey, and Manaya, the 2 of you are covered head to toe in watermelon juice, I think, at this point.
I think Oka kind of slaps Dewey's arm a little and is like, I didn't think she had it in her. I really didn't.
I don't think she has it in her.
I'm dying.
V is being very convincing with that nat 20. I think actually,
we know her, but we know her.
Yeah, you do. A medic like comes up to you, V. You know, like with like a triage like center.
They put the stethoscope on my stomach and they can hear the gurgling sounds. That's that real.
Wow.
It's
That's how you
bad,
use
my
the
regent. It's
stethoscope.
bad. I recommend amputation. Amputation?
No, I'll be all right. I swear I'll be all right. Just give me a moment.
Ah, dang it.
I'm always a fan of amputation, but all right, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, yes, maybe tomorrow. And the medic walks away and puts like a big bone saw back into their sack. And maybe on this jubilant, excitement and celebration, everyone covered in seeds, bloated with watermelon juice, we can cut to a break. As we take our 10-minute break, and then we will come back with more beach challenges to see how our PCs will finally get past the regent to get their audience with Atalanta, Atalanta, in case you didn't know. All right, we will be back. Enjoy the fan art reel. We will see you in 10 minutes. Thank you so much to everyone who's donated. Oh my God, $125. That's amazing. You guys are awesome. And for subbing to us as well, 21 subs. That's awesome. We love you all so much. And we will see you in 10. Peace.
From a witch who was born of many gender. I learned to see a light. I learned to watch it glitter. I learned a secret from the light. I learned to watch it dancing. I learned to swallow light to illuminate my darkness. I learned to feel love when I look upon my dark things. I learned this from a witch who was born of many gender. I learned to see a light. I learned to watch it glitter. I learned a secret from the light. I learned to watch it dancing. I learned to swallow light to illuminate my darkness. I learned to feel love when I look upon my dark things. I learned this from a witch who was born of many gender. I learned to see a light. I learned to watch it glitter. I learned a secret from the light. I learned to watch it dancing. I learned a secret from the light. Tea, blood, hair, tea, blood, hair, tea, blood, hair, tea, blood. Tea, blood. Yours to
Hello, 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 everybody. It's so good to see all your digital non-existent faces in the chat again. Thanks for sticking around. Welcome back from the break. So as a reminder, content warnings again before we hop back into it. Content warnings for our campaign, probably not this session, but maybe, who knows, include alcohol and substance use, addiction, death of loved ones, memory loss, body horror, gore, fantasy violence, emotional trauma and baggage, self-destructive behavior, bloodletting, cult and cult-like behavior, anxiety and panic attacks described in detail, poverty and classism, a refugee crisis, natural disasters, and economic injustice. So with that, let's hop right back into the session on the heels of our watermelon eating contest.
Okay, hold on. I need to point out that Max got a camera out for like a dad at the beach look. The camera. The camera for the dad at the beach look. I'm mad.
I literally bought this yesterday.
Oh my god, I would give you inspiration, but you're already a full up, Max. I love it. I love how beachy we all are. Yay. Also, as a reminder for our incentives, we are $25 away from making our next stretch goal, 150 donations for, and all of this will go directly to supporting B Zelda, who is our lovely, wonderful trans streamer who does many beautiful, amazing things in the tabletop space. And we are 3 subs away from hitting our 25 sub goal, so I'm just going to put that out there. Use !tip for a full list of incentives, which will give us more collective inspiration for those insane antics that our PCs pull off all the time. So with that, let's hop right back into the narrative. After the crowd stops cheering and chanting, the audience of revelers, drunken folk, people smoking whatever, with their arms slung around each other, dancing to the music in the background, they all turn to you, Bamba, and to your assistant, Ribbit, for the next challenge. And Ribbit leans up to you, sort of taps a wet finger on your shoulder and says, the crabs? Crabs, you think?
Is it time?
It's time.
It's time. Bring out the crabs!
And then I think the drums go dun, 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 dun. As the stage is struck, you know, like the audience like moves forward, and again, like a hive of bees, they carry away the bits of driftwood that they'd used to erect this impromptu stage, and they set out like a race course. Right, they set up like obstacles, you know, very quickly. They put like a big coconuts as like a thing you have to jump over, and they like dig holes and they put ocean water in for like a swimming area, and like trenches, etc., and a finish line at the very end, denoted on either side by big coconuts, the start line and the finish line. And then brought out are several large wooden buckets, and inside there's all kinds of crabs. You see cute little like red crabs, you know, with their little claws. You see like big spider crabs, like with extremely long legs, and you see like little mitten crabs with fuzzy little claws, and then you see like tiny little like imitation crabs that are probably just like clams that look like crabs, and then you see like a coconut that someone had stuck twigs onto to make them look like legs in all these buckets. So Ribbit turns to the rest of the party, Oka, Dewey, Manaya, and V, and says, "Which one of you dares challenge the undefeated champion of crab racing?"
Me. I do.
And I think the crowd parts as Oka, clad in like dad shorts and your stolen sunglasses and the cigarette of some random herb you're smoking, you step forward and everyone's like, ooh. You see a couple like women like swoon as you like step forward like out of the crowd. And Bamba, you eye your competition up and down.
You think you got what it takes to race a crab?
I was born for this.
This is some serious business. All right, I'll let you choose your crab first.
Very well. I would like to use my mechanic Hunter's Bane as a blood hunter. It gives me advantage on wisdom saves to track monsters and intelligence checks to recall information about them. I would like to utilize this to find the most monstrous crab in the buckets.
I love that. I give you inspiration, but you're full up. Okay. So make a, what is that, intelligence tracking check? Intelligence check with advantage.
I would like to use inspiration because both of those were shit.
Collective or personal?
My own.
Sounds good.
Net 20, Nat 20 plus my intelligence is 23.
There is one crab in all of these buckets. It's like it's underneath like several like regular normal crabs, but it's like it speaks to you. You can smell it maybe. And as you like paw through this bucket and like all these other crabs like leave and they skitter across the sand, you see the Chonko. This is a massive like 5-pound crab, and it's got pincers. It's got eyes, and it's got legs that are just. They look like they can destroy other crabs, and you see it pick up a crab, and like the crab goes no, and it flings it like out of the bucket. It is like, and you see like steam come out of its nostrils, it's like, and it's like it's a pure like white like albino crab with these like beady red eyes.
You know how like when you see your soulmate, it's like time slows down. You know, Oka like looks into the bucket and looks into the eyes of the crab, and they take their sunglasses off. You are my chosen one.
Do you pick the crab up?
I lift it above my head triumphantly.
And the thing is like, I want to know what love is. As you're like holding this crab up. And it like brandishes its pincers. So make an animal handling check with advantage to see how well you can bond with this crab before the race.
Okay, the first roll was a 19, so the first roll was a 1, so but this roll is a 21.
Okay, a 21. That is admissible. So as you hold this crab, the crab also brandishes its pincers, and you can like sense that it's out for blood. It's ready to go. And this crab, it has a little bit of like magical monstrous energy to it. It's not just a normal crab. Okay. So Oka has picked out their fighter. Bamba, it's your turn. How are you looking for the perfect crab?
Well, as we know, this is not Bomba's first crab racing race. So they have a special crab, number 739. This crab is purple, blue, and yellow. Instead of pincers, they have little boxing gloves. And where their eyes are kind of like pokey shaped. And they've got like a little mustache. Like one of their eyelids are kind of like low, as if they've already been punched. It might have been themselves. They have a hard time with no bits. And their name is Crab Brawler. And this is actually a reference to Gen 7 Pokemon. So I lock eyes with Crab Brawler. I give them a fist bump. And with my speak with animals, I say, all right, so here's the plan. You're going to punch the other crab, and we're going to pretend like it never happened. All right? And like Crab Brawler gives me like a really, like a wink with both eyes. He really tries. Do you want like an animal handling still? Maybe he's feeling a little punchy?
Yeah, let's say animal handling with advantage as Crab Brawler like blink, 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 like wink, 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 and says, "You got it, Bamba. I'm out for blood."
With your little fists, yes. Advantage. So my first is an 8. We'll try that again.
Okay.
11.
Okay, you do have a point of personal inspiration still, I think, and we have 4 collective inspiration.
We're gonna re-roll that.
Okay.
There we go, 26.
Okay. Wow.
There.
That is really high. So Crab
Don't
Brawler,
go up against the ranger in the animal contest.
Right? These are my friends.
I think Crab Brawler like shrugs off his like returning champion's cloak. You know? Like a bunch of like little crabs come up and they take it off and they start spritzing him, with like they start like fluffing him up.
Got like a little towel they wipe off his face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
hyping him up.
And we hear like Eye of the Tiger start playing in the back as like do like the drummers start going. And Oka and Bamba, it's time to set your crabs at the starting line.
I think you know how like in movies, if you're like at the starting line and like the rivals are next to each other and they can kind of like say a few words to each other, like, you know what I mean? I think as Oka is like setting up their monster crab, they like look at Bamba like from the corner of their eye, and they like I'm never one to say no to a good party. But people are hurt.
What? Here?
Well,
I mean, that person fell asleep, but not really hurt. They might have like fallen in a weird angle, but they'll be fine.
no, what I mean is like the whole world is hurt. The world is broken.
Hold on. There's more than just here?
Yeah. And the stars are gone everywhere, not just on the beach.
I thought that was just kind of a thing.
You're the regent. You should know this. You should help your people.
I let Atalanta. I let Atalanta take care of that. I just make sure everybody's happy, and everybody's happy. Look at how happy everybody is. It's important. And like all around us, people are cheering like crab, 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 crab.
You need a break every once in a while, I'll give you that, but when was the last time you thought about what was happening off this beach?
Never. And I think before Bamba can like fully process the intensity of that, Ribbit is gonna like wave the flag to go.
Oh yeah, he's got a different thing. He puts the gong aside and he picks up a flag and he waves it, and it's time for the crabs to go. So this first leg is just a straight race before you reach the first obstacle, which is a bunch of coconuts piled up high in front of you, in front of your crabs. So immediately, Crab Brawler turns and starts punching at Oka's monster crab, right? And Oka's monster crab, like the shell is real tough. So Bamba, I need you to make an attack roll as Crab Brawler to get past Oka's monster crab's shell.
Do you want like unarmed?
Yeah. Yeah, let's go with an unarmed strength attack.
Yeah.
Crab has the same stats as.
Yes, I feel like this is sort of like a Pacific Rim moment. Where like we like enter the crab's perspective now, and it's so intense that they got like anime men faces, and Crab Brawler's like, I will kill you. I will avenge the death of my brother who you crushed. The monster crab goes blah, 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 blah. So Bamba, what did you get?
An 8.
Okay. So Oko, why don't you describe how Crab Brawler fields the blow? I mean, not Crab Brawler, but your monster crab.
The monster crab subsists off of violence exclusively, and I think it only empowers them. It like only makes similar to a blood hunter. You know, the more hits they take, the more damage they do. And yeah. I also want to make a note that right before the starting flag, Oka puts their finger or puts their hand in front of the monster crab and lets it pinch them, and they form a connection to it.
Okay.
A blood connection is what I mean.
Like the blood, it drinks your blood and it goes blah, blah, blah. And I think based on how you fielded Crab Brawler's like little boxing glove punches, your monster crab is the first one to reach the coconuts, right? As every punch makes it faster. So how does Crab Brawler get past the coconuts? Not Crab Brawler, your monster crab. Sorry, I misspoke.
Crab, okay.
Monster crab.
Monster crab. It's like like the Kool-Aid man right through the wall of coconuts. Like not over, not under, not burrowing, like through the wall of coconuts.
Okay, make an athletics strength check for monster crab.
I fucking shit you not, Connie. You can look. It's a nat 20.
Okay.
Which is a 25 total for monster crab.
Okay, monster crab busts through the coconuts and lets out a bloodthirsty, you know, as it like cracks various coconut shells open. And I think as the coconut shells roll downward toward Crab Brawler, Bamba, I need Crab Brawler to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no, crab brawlers, all fists. Oh, I'm really good at Dex though. Never mind. 15.
15. Crab Brawler weaves and ducks and punches coconut shells out of place. And because that dexterity save was so successful, I think you're right on the monster crab's tail. As this is happening, Oka and Bamba, how are the two of you cheering on the crabs?
Oka and Ronnie? Are you still Ronnie?
Bamba?
How am I cheering on? Oh, the crabs. I heard you say the crowd.
Oh no,
I don't know what I'm
my
doing.
mistake. How are the two of you cheering on your crabs?
Oh, that's a question. I think. Okay, if you have an answer first, please go.
Yeah, I think this is my plan that I formulated. I would like to, as I always do, misuse my blood curse of binding. So that blood connection that I made with my crab, maybe could we say like the track is kind of like a circle? So technically blood curse of binding, well, maybe this actually wouldn't work.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to like use my own, my monster crab drank a little of my blood. So I'm trying to pull my blood back to me, like through, like make it go faster, like blood bend it forward, basically.
Okay, that's risky. So that's going to require a check, I think, to see if you can keep your lead and maybe even increase the gap between you and Crab Brawler. So make me a... Jesus Christ, I don't know. Constitution saving throw?
Oh, no!
Because you're using your blood?
Okay. That is a 15.
Okay, I think you maintain your lead for now. Describe to me what it looks like as you pull your monster crab toward the next obstacle, which is a ditch filled with seawater.
I think Oka just kind of like clenches their fist that got pinced earlier, and it's almost like there's a string attached to the front of monster crab, and it's like being pulled now along by this like invisible thread, you know, like something is pushing at its face, making it go forward.
Okay, monster crab plunges into the water and goes as like water just like sprays up around its pincers, and now it's time for Crab Brawler to hit the surf. Bamba, how is Crab Brawler getting through the water?
Okay, first, to motivate Crab Brawler, much like I watched a really not good anime a little while. I mean, it wasn't okay. It's like a boxing anime where like the coach was constantly shouting these really, really good motivational things at the boxer, but only in moments when the boxer was like about to go down, and then they get like flashbacks of their life. So Bomba's shouting like, "Do it for your brother! Do you remember that time where he brought you coconuts?
Oh my
Don't
god,
let this be your last memory."
I love that. I love that. Make a charisma persuasion check.
All right. I'm so at that. 17.
Okay, so I think we like zoom in as you're like shouting in slow mo. We zoom in on Crab Brawler's eyes, and we see like them as like a baby crab, you know, holding like claw hands with their brother, you know, them as like teenage crabs, you know, having their rebellious phase, and their parent crabs being like, "Go back to your hole," you know. And then we zoom to like when their crab brother goes off to war, you know, against the shrimp, you know, in like the shallows. But before they can get there, we see monster crab, like a shadow falls over the brother, and monster crab just bam, and it cuts to like black, you know. And then like we go back like present now on Crab Brawler's eyes, and they're like tearing up a little, and Crab Brawler goes into the surf and catches up to monster crab. And now for the final stretch, y'all are neck and neck. What's the last play here? Maybe this is a chance for Manaya and or Dewey to interfere in this final stretch.
Interfere, help, cheer on a
Help,
crab.
cheer on, exactly.
Yeah, anybody taking bets on which crab is their favorite, which crab is the cutest, it's Crab Brawler, you know.
Oh yeah, there's gold passing hands right now. And there's like someone being like, bets on Crab Brawler, a monster crab.
V just looks at all that gold being passed through hands and just be like, is really thinking about her hand getting on that hand of gold. But she's too full from eating.
Yeah. Manaya, Dewey, anything? It's fine if you don't have anything. You're muted, Devin.
My god. Discord is transphobic. We need to switch to Google. Anyway, Manaya closes her eyes and thinks to the Princess of Leaves, who she hasn't really talked to today. And she goes, so that hex spell, I just point at someone, right? And just focus?
And you hear a voice go, "Yes, Manaya, you just have to focus. What are you... Are you up to a jape here, Manaya?"
Well, I have to... I just had the word for it. What is... I have to carry along Mum's legacy somehow, huh? And I think Manaya like goes to cheer and is like, "Yeah, go!" And points at Bamba. Because I don't know if this would work on a crab. And casts Hex, which for up to an hour. Well, okay. So until the spell ends, I deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage whenever I hit that person with an attack, which doesn't matter. Also, choose one ability when you cast the spell. The target has disadvantage on ability checks made with the chosen ability.
Which
and I'm
one are
going
you
to choose
choosing?
Charisma.
Charisma. Okay. Is there a saving throw? Or does it just work?
No, I think it just works.
I think it just works,
I
yeah.
think it just works.
Okay, awesome. So Manaya, describe what Bamba would feel as they are hexed.
So I'm using Charisma so that Bamba's control over the crab weakens. And so I think, Bamba, you try to muster up these encouraging words and like you've said these things before in the last races that you've always won, but the words are on just the tip of your tongue and you can't quite form the right words and you stumble a little bit, and maybe you blurt out something that maybe you didn't want to say and you're like, no, I take that back. Yeah.
I can't remember Crab Brawler's brother's name.
Oh no.
It is so important to motivate Crab Brawler. It's the name that gets him through, and without that, I don't think I can do this.
Okay. I take inspiration for your decision to basically take the L. I love that. Take inspiration. And I think in that final stretch, Oka, you're like beckoning with your like blood, like bond that you formed with your monster crab. And Crab Brawler looks to you, Bamba, like for what you always say. Like do it for do it for
you're gonna, and they choke.
And Monster Crab cuts past the finish line with Crab Brawler a few crab steps behind. And even as everyone cheers, right, people start mobbing Oka, and showering Oka with a bottle of champagne and stuff like that. Bamba, all you see through the crowd, through all the people is Crab Brawler looking up at you. And because I think Speak with Animals is still active, Crab Brawler just says, "His name was Gem." And takes one glove off and throws it onto the ground, takes the other glove off and throws it onto the sand.
Our brother, no! Are you ending our friendship?
I'm going where I belong. I'm going to see Gem. And Crab Brawler turns and scuttles off into the surf.
One tear falls down Bamba's eye.
Bye forever.
And the waves take them. They're washed into the ocean. So there's a moment of celebration here, right? Oka, Dewey, Manaya, V, Bamba. What do the five of you do in the wake of this victory?
I think Oka will make kind of pointed eye contact with Bamba, kind of like being like, can't win every time, like not only referencing the race, and they like lift a glass of champagne and like just pour it over their head,
Yeah, I think for the first time since you've met them, Bamba's looking a little bit more despondent. Not quite as bubbly or as outgoing as they're known to be as the regent of this area.
Ribbit, are we ready for the next challenge?
Yes.
I think at this moment, Manaya has is a little shaky because it's the first time she's like used magic for like not so great purposes, just in general. But she's like shaking it off, and she runs over to Oka, just yelling, maybe in Wuhan a little bit, and it's like, "Woo, Oka, I knew you could do it!" And Manaya lifts them up onto her shoulders.
I
and
love
starts
it.
parading them
Oh
around.
yeah. Oka's like, yes. It's a good day when you get to ride Manaya's shoulders.
Yeah, I think like the champagne drips down into your hair and like down your face as well, mingling with like the watermelon grossness and Oka's sweat as well. And Oka, are you like holding Monster Crab aloft? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Victory! And it's like waving its crab arms. And at that, Ribbit leans into you, Bomba, and says, "It's starting to get a little late, my liege, my regent, and as you know, we should close off the beach as we do every night and bring the celebrations back to the Tower of Rosso because of the night monsters and all that. But I believe we have time for one more competition."
Is it my favorite?
I believe it is.
Bring out the sand. Oh, we're surrounded by sand.
Oh, yes, yeah, we are.
Do we need to do any prep?
I think we just need the ball, and we can set up a net.
Okay, bring out the ball.
And I think, like, there's like a low, like, ball, 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 as like the crowd begins to chant for the ball. And out is rolled, I think, a ball, a volleyball. But it's not just like a regular ball. I think it's a curled up, like, sand armadillo. That's just sort of like, it's fine. It's like hardy. It likes being used as a beach volleyball. As the again, like this racetrack is struck and a net is erected for beach volleyball. Bomba on one side and Oka, Manaya, Dewey, and V, the four of you are ushered by the crowd to get onto the other side. And Ribbit like puts on like a pair of like sport uniform and like raises a whistle, like puts down the flag and picks up a whistle.
I'm also cool with letting Manaya and Dewey take the lead on this one and offering like back support. Maybe, I don't know what volleyball positions are, but like since we got to do solo competitions.
I've seen enough high Q.
I know, me too. I'm like, I feel like, yeah, me too. I've seen enough high Q. Okay.
My only volleyball that I've learned.
So let's say Oka and V, you're in the back, right? So you can be like, to save the ball if it like goes over, but Manaya and Dewey, the two of you are in the front. One of you will be the setter and the other will be the spiker, right? Or like you can like
Manaya's
switch
the
roles.
spiker right
She's
there.
giant.
She's right
She's
there.
8.5 feet tall.
7.5 feet tall.
Excuse me, 7.5 feet tall.
I love it. So the four of you start setting up on your side as Ribbit explains the rules. Okay, it is Bomba the Regent and their bees versus the four of you. And the first team to score 1 point will win. This will be the volley of your lives. Any questions?
What is a volley? Oka like turns to V in the back and is like, what's a volley?
Just
Manaya
Like-
whips around, being native Wuhan, and knowing this. She goes, "Don't let the ball touch the ground on our side. Make it touch the ground on their side. Got it? Right, if the ball gets to you, call it out. Don't just go for it, right? Do you
One
know
over
how to
me.
this?
Yeah. We got this.
We got this."
Any other questions before I blow my whistle?
Whose side does it start on?
It will start on
Out
the
of, out, of,
winner.
out of character.
Oh, sure.
Out of character.
The winner's side. So the four of you will serve first.
Okay.
So the armadillo is brought over by like servants to you, Manaya. But then they pause and they turn and look at Dewey, like who's setting?
Right, I'll take this.
Okay, yes, of course. And they back away. And then Ribbit brings the whistle up to their lips and blows. Bee! Serve!
Dewey, we're gonna need that sword. And Manaya gets like all the way back to the back, like left side of the court. And this is a rather large armadillo, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
She throws the
Huge
armadillo
ball size.
up, takes out her axe, and just serves it with the hammer side, and it goes flying over the net.
Okay, make Make an attack roll on the armadillo.
$13.
Okay. That won't quite hit the AC, so I will give you a hard choice, or you can use inspiration.
I use inspiration.
Okay,
So
personal?
that was a pretty good roll. Yeah, I'll use personal.
Okay.
One more personal. There we go. That's a 19.
19. Okay, perfect. Yeah, you smack this armadillo, and I need you to roll damage. Not on the armadillo, but just to see like how fast, right, and how hard this hit is.
Mm-hmm. Damage. Haven't done this in a while.
Please don't roll like 60 damage like you always do. This poor thing.
Or like do, I guess.
17.
17
damage.
points of damage. Jesus. Okay, describe to me what it looks like as you volley it over the net.
So yeah, I mean it's basically like any tennis serve. Basically, she tosses it up. She takes out her axe real quick, and just it's like her axe doesn't start on fire, but it's like when you hit like a home run in baseball, and like everything stops right there for a moment, and it goes. Psh, and it goes straight over the net. The perfect serve to the very back over the court, of the opposite court. Not quite over the edge, but like right there.
Okay, yeah. And I think like as that moment of collision like hits like the armadillo's head pokes out, its eyes go as it like flies through the air. And Bamba, how are you fielding this insane serve?
Well, I didn't think things were gonna get quite so intense at the beginning. So we, as in me and my bees, are gonna cast web. I wish there was a way I could like flavor web with like bee related content, because like I don't want like spider webs.
Honey,
it's, like-
strings of honey.
Oh, yes. That's brilliant. Thank you. So the bees that were in that corner, they just like where does honey come from their mouths? So they look up in fear for a moment as like you can see like the shockwave of the hit of like the poor armadillo as they get yeeted over into our side of the court. And like there's that moment of terror in the bees' eyes, and then like they in a panic, they just spit, and like this beautiful golden net comes out and it catches the armadillo.
I love it. So I think it just works because it's a spell, and fiction-wise, it just works. The armadillo is caught, right? And there's like like we see it like spinning, like in like the bottom part of like the web, and then it shoots back out. So Bamba, why don't you make how would you maneuver your bees to shoot the ball back over?
Well,
are you cheering them on?
Question. Probably, but believe it or not, I have a 0 in charisma normally. So, and I've been hexed with my charisma. Honestly, I kind of like that idea. This is what Bamba does best, you know. Potato, pear, peanut, you got this.
Okay,
I'm just gonna roll
persuasion. Let's say.
Persuasion,
or actually,
right.
that feels like animal handling to me as well, because they are animals that you are handling.
So if that had different stats, that would have been 23, but I have disadvantage.
Oh, no. Animal handling is wisdom, right? If you want to roll animal handling instead?
Yes. Okay, perfect. So 23.
23. That is enough to get it over the net. Bamba, the armadillo flies over the net, I think in like a high arc, but like moving very quickly right toward Dewey. And the armadillo goes, ah! As it starts to like arc down toward our Aarakocra artificer. So Dewey, what do you do?
I think Dewey was standing in the wrong position to receive it, but he sees it coming, and he's gonna run and dive for it. But he's wearing socks and sandals, so his foot slips. But
okay,
so he I think he falls, but his maybe I should roll for this first. Do you want me to roll?
Yeah, I think it's a dexterity acrobatics check. Let's say.
Ooh.
See if you can save the ball.
That feels about right. Okay, I got a 12.
Okay.
I think that he falls, and then like straight onto his stomach, and it maybe just bounces off the the back of his head just right.
Yeah, the ball bounces off the back of your head, and it doesn't go over the net, but it's a chance for Manaya to serve it over again. So Manaya, you see Dewey like skid and get like these horrible like sand marks like into his feathers. Boing! The armadillo goes, what? And now Manaya, it's your turn to bring it back over the net. How do you do so?
So Manaya's going to use another bonus action, I suppose, because Hex was a bonus action, to cast Expeditious Retreat and dash, basically, double her movement. And just, because she's out in the back of the court from serving, so she runs up, maybe like hooking Dewey and like pulling him up on the way. But since she's already using her axe, she just has the one hand to try to jump up and spike it down.
I love it. So I think these huge plumes of sand and wind poof, kick up from your calves and your feet as like magic empowers you, right? And you feel the Princess of Leaves go, here we go, poof, and you rush all the way over.
Wind and leaves and everything.
And it spirals around you, and in just in an instant, you're right there next to Dewey. You hook him up, and you spike it down. That is an athletics check for me.
Oh, you know I love those. I don't love those. I'm using my last personal inspiration. I would have been like a 12.
Mm.
I have an auto crit.
Okay,
as well.
that's like a 15.
We do have an auto crit, as Max just mentioned.
I'm gonna save that.
Okay, Bomba. I mean, it's going to be Bomba's turn. A 15 is enough to get it over the net and not super lethally. So this should be a pretty easy save for Bomba. You see the armadillo pop over the net, and it's sort of like a pop. I think like it doesn't go like super to the far back, so you're gonna have to run up to catch it. So Bomba, what do you and your bees do?
I have this thing called Zephyr Strike, where I can move like the wind until the spell ends. So it's gonna break my web concentration. Like the honey just like hits the ground, and like the bees start to like, one of the bees should be playing the game, but instead it's probably Peanut. Peanut is just like going back to lick up the honey. Like, dang it, Peanut. But I can move like the wind. And I can give myself advantage on one weapon attack roll on my turn, dealing an extra 1d8 force damage. And I like the idea of force damage because that's what we're doing here, hitting with the force of will. So this is a ranger. No, I can do this with the sword.
Mm-hmm.
However, because I don't ever want to do anything interestingly. So Zephyr Strike, that's my bonus action. So Bomba zooms to the back line, and like clockwork, the bees rotate to take my setter's position. We know what's up. We have this whole thing done. This isn't our first volleyball game. So Bomba zooms to the back, and then like they spin on their feet, and like just as the armadillo is about to go hit them, they dip their head low, and I love this armadillo, is just gonna bop off of their horns. And Bomba's gonna like, again, like that motion where it's like there for a quick second, and like with their head back, they're gonna push forward and try to like throw that across the fence.
Are you using your horns to attack the armadillo?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that counts as a weapon attack roll. So go for it against the.
Okay, I have in my character sheet like my ram horns.
Sure. Yeah, I assume that's part of your natural weapons.
Yeah.
And you also get inspiration for that awesome description, I think.
All right, so maybe a 16. Let me roll again. That was a 16 again. I'm gonna use an inspiration because actually it's to hit, right?
Yes, to hit.
Okay, so yeah, 16 to hit will do.
Okay, that is just enough. Bomba, as you bop it up and roll damage to see how viciously you volley it.
My rams don't hurt a lot. So we're gonna do ram damage was 3, and then Zephyr damage is gonna be 100. No, d8. 8. 8, 7. What else can I add to this?
Do you get to add your strength modifier or anything?
Not with my ram damage for some reason.
That's odd. That doesn't feel right. You know what? I'll roll that you can add it in this instance, because I don't know why you wouldn't.
That becomes 15.
15! Wow, okay. Bang! You like ram the armadillo with your horns. The poor armadillo is starting to reach its limit. right?
Oh no.
And which means that once the armadillo is sick of being battered around, it's going to start trying to drop. So as the armadillo like goes over the net, it starts to unfurl a little bit. You can see it's like little toes and little feetsies coming out and a little tail wagging in the air. And it comes and makes a straight beeline again for Dewey, who's been hoisted up. So Dewey, what do you do?
The sword.
I believe
sword,
that
sword,
in the
sword,
in the fall that I took,
sword,
the latch on
sword.
what's the thing called? Where you keep a sword.
The sheath.
A sheath. Yeah, the latch on the sheath came loose, and Dewey's like backing up, hands up. But the sword, my sword son, launches itself into the air, screaming, I'm assuming. And as it reaches a couple of feet above my head, it's rotating to be like right side up, and then it collides with the armadillo in midair.
Okay.
Accidentally, but...
I think that's an attack roll with your sword.
Alright. What is my sword's attack?
It's been so long since you've used him.
I don't remember. Uh-huh. Okay.
I'm excited for Sword Son.
Everything okay, Max?
I dropped my d20. It's a 20.
A 20? Oh my
Yes.
god. Okay, roll damage on this poor armadillo.
Do you do double damage with crits?
It wasn't a crit.
Oh.
Dirty 20.
20. That's a 7.
Okay. So your sword son goes, yes! Yes! Die! And boom! Like slaps the armadillo with its blunt end. And Oka, you look like you wanted to say something as this happened.
I was going to make a joke about dirty 20, dirty pigeon, but go on.
Okay, thank you for not making that joke. I'm glad I interrupted you. And bam! The collision. And the armadillo unfurls completely, right? And it like its arms and legs flailing, its tail swimming through the air as it almost like splayed like a flying squirrel over the net, right? And it goes up, and Manaya, you get a chance to spike it if you want. And Bamba will get one last chance to save.
Oh, she takes it.
Okay.
So Manaya realizes that Bamba is using bees, which are bugs, which generally don't like fire. And this armadillo is armored on its back.
Yes.
So I think... So Manaya, at the front of the net, as the armadillo is soaring over her, she's going to jump up and grab it by the armored back, sort of spin in the air, and cast Green Flame Blade to coat the armored part of this armadillo.
I think
so it doesn't
technically that spell would be Green Flame Armadillo, I think.
Yeah. Where, like, from her hands, maybe she jumps. Wait, how long does Expeditious Retreat last? Up to 10 minutes. Great. So she jumps, and there's like a of wind under her as leaves go flying out. And she grabs this armadillo. Her eyes glow, and leaves come from her shoulders down her arms and cover the armadillo and light up with green and orange flames. And she spins in the air and attempts to basically throw this armadillo, just like spike it like straight down to the other side of the court.
Okay, make a strength arcana check.
But I'm using the auto crit.
What was that? Oh,
I'm using the auto crit. This is gonna happen.
Nice.
Oh, right.
It's gonna happen.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Flaming
You want,
armadillo.
like, a dex save with disadvantage.
Yep. So I think what the auto crit means is, Manaya, I'll let you choose. You can either impose disadvantage on Bamba save, or you can choose to surprise, impress, or frighten the opposition.
I'm going to frighten Bamba's bees. Since she was in the back earlier, she'd have to get right up close, and I don't know how many spell slots she has left. They have left, but I'm in Manaya mode. But hopefully they won't be able to rush forward like they did earlier.
Yes. Bamba, I think what this means is your bees are paralyzed with fear as they see this flaming sphere of armadillo go, bah! and like a comet like launching down. Maybe your bees flash back to their like primordial origins, like when they were bee dinosaurs, and like a comet like destroyed them and wiped them out, and your bees are paralyzed by fear. So Bomba, it has to be you without your bees' help to try to make this save. So what do?
Gosh, what can I do? I am bees. I think I have a longbow. A bunch of things I can shoot. A lot of healing spells for some reason. Here we go. I think, how can I flavor this?
I kind of have a potentially funny idea. If you would like to hear it, potentially.
I'm all ears.
Oka does not understand volleyball, and the only thing they remember is don't let it touch the ground. So I think maybe they've kind of I don't even think they're on the court, but I think they see the armadillo going towards the ground and they're like, wait, no, we have to keep it going. And I think they maybe try to dive for it. And I think their like radiant soul, like two like spectral wings come right out of their back as they make a dive to like try to catch it in their arms, not serve it or throw it back up, but to catch it.
I really
if that's
like
okay
that.
with you, B.
Bomba is probably struck with fear, like in their eyes, you can see the reflection of the green armadillo. And they're just standing there like they don't know what to do. They can't act without their bees.
Okay, I love it.
Brilliant.
Awesome. Inspiration for you, Oka, and inspiration for you as well, Bomba, because I think that's a great team play, even though you got the spirit. You're confused, but you have the spirit here, Oka. So Oka, make a acrobatics check.
Oh god, do I have to roll damage on Oka?
Here it
I'm gonna
is.
kill him!
TPK. Oka killed by local armadillo. And that's actually a really big number. 15.
What was it?
What?
I have to count on my hands. 21.
21 points. 21 acrobatics check for Oka. Yeah, Oka, your radiant soul comes out and you dive and you say, there's like a cloud of dust, right? As like Ribbit's got like the whistle like on his like lips and he's like, what's going on? I can't see anything. And like Bomba, you're standing there like in the middle of it and your bees buzz in fear. And like Manaya, you're standing there panting, and Doobie, your feathers are ruffled, and V, I don't know, maybe you're drinking a daiquiri in the back. And the dust and the sand clears and we see Oka lying there, cradling the armadillo in their chest. And the armadillo looks up at you, Oka, with its little snout sniffing and its big ol' eyes full of gratitude. And then there's a whistle sound, and Ribbit says, you can't do that! That's disqualification!
What? I thought... What?
Side, Oka.
They're not on our team.
Side.
We don't know.
Lift.
Regent Bomba, this is your call. But if you wanted to, we could kick them out of the beach for disqualification purposes.
Just give me a second. Hold on. Me and my bees have to have a talk. And there's a moment where we all take like 2 steps to the side. We all gather and we're just like one satyr-shaped swarm for a second. And then they all disperse. And it's just Bomba. And they have their back straight. Their little curls are blowing in like the dramatic wind that has appeared in this instant. I think you 4 have shown great strength, creativity, deception, prowess beyond that I have ever imagined. Yeah, I'm talking about my watermelon friend. And so much more. And Bomba's gonna move over to Oka and reach out a hand. Do you want some help up?
I think Oka hands Bomba they're still kind of confused. Do they hand Bomba the armadillo? And then maybe they would take their hand and stand.
You said something to me today, and it's something that nobody's ever said to me I mean, I'm sure maybe somebody might have said something outside of the beach, but just like I have this constant buzzing in my ears. But when you spoke, I felt like I actually heard you. And I recognize that it is so important for me to make people around me happy and smile and comfortable and probably so drunk that they wake up with like sand in their face. But it's also important to take care of those who can't take care of themselves. And I have never had to think about that twice. That's always been Atalanta's job. And I realize I might be out of my depth a little. Would you four like to go meet Atalanta?
Yes, I think we would. Did we win the game?
Oh, no, I won. Of course, I am the champion. I can't lose. You did a really good job, though. A really good job. And I'm going to be looking for some socks and Crocs for my hooves next time. When you see me again, I'm going to be very stylish. I'm taking cues. And Bamba points over at Dewey and V, really into their styles.
V sneezes and the entire disguised self, like, actually, you know what? Let's just say it's been an hour and she sneezes and simultaneously it all melts off, revealing V in her, not summery beach time, just her like very well-tailored outfit. Meanwhile, there's watermelon coming up on the shore from the ocean.
I think Baba's gonna hesitate. Oh, no, you can't go see. No. And they're gonna put their little beach hat on top of your head. There. Now you're perfect.
Oh, thank you very much.
I had a lot of fun with everybody. It's not very often that somebody puts up a good challenge, I've beaten everybody here. Everybody twice over. So, thanks for making my beach party a little bit more party and a little less beach. Right, and I guess I'll turn to Ribbit. Do you wanna lead them? I wanna go. There's some watermelon washing up on shore, and it looks awfully tasty.
Understood. Yes, my
Yeah, do you
regent.
wanna just go bring them?
I will
Thank you.
do so.
I'm gonna go get a snack.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I think Ribbit leans into a magical stone strapped to his shoulder and says, "All right, the regents let loose. Everyone, entertain them now!" And then a bunch of partygoers come up and swarm you and start dancing with you, etc. As you're bared away to this washed up watermelon. And then I think as Bamba leaves, before Bamba is totally out of earshot, Oka, Manaya, Dewey, and V, are there any parting words you would like to say to our regent?
I think Manaya walks up first and she says, Regent Bamba, your beach trials were very fun. They reminded me of home. Thank you for helping me. I almost forgot what it was like to play volleyball.
You are welcome back anytime. I saw the way that you spiked that little armadillo. Almost called them a ball. Silly me, that's not what they are. You want to join my team next time?
Well, we're on a bit of a mission, but
Oh.
I suppose the why to a family secret shouldn't stop with me.
I'll always be here. I might not be a regent, but I'll be here.
Oh, I love that. Oka, Dewey, V, any last parting words?
I thought that was very good.
Okay. Sounds good. Then with that, the crowd sweeps up Bamba, and as it starts to turn to night, I think, Bamba, you are allowed to eat the watermelon that washed up on shore, but there's indoor festivities because outside, even you would know, maybe it hasn't fully sunk in for you, but people go indoors at night now. Hasn't been like this for the past few years, but whatever. Maybe this is a new party groove. You're brought into a large structure, almost like a huge beehive hut, made of clay, sort of on the shore, where the sand meets a field, a meadow, and the party continues inside. You all see lights go in and music bumping from inside. But Ribbit guides Oka, Manaya, Dewey, and V, the four of you, up the sandy dunes of the beach onto a meadow and toward the city of Rosso, where you see in the distance these huge spiraling towers that the four of you would know as the Towers of Rosso. These extremely enigmatic and prominent landmarks, rising hundreds of feet into the sky, like think like the towers of Dubai, like, and disappearing into cloud cover, even as the sunless sky begins to turn dark. And Ribbit turns to the four of you as he leads you and says, "I hope you're ready for Atalanta. She is a lot less friendly than our regent."
I feel like a lot of people are less friendly than the regent, but we're ready.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me, there was a frog in my throat the entire time. All right, I will now lead the four of you off to see Atalanta.
And I think on that, we will end our wonderful Arc 2 interlude session. Yay! Thank you so much, B, for being an amazing guest star. And wow, in the final stretch, we have hit our $150 donation goal, $160 total. So thank you all so much for donating. All of that will go directly to support B. And thank you for hitting our 25 sub goal as well. That goes to support the rest of us. Yeah, so let's do some quick introductions. Let folks know where they can find us. I've been Connie. My pronouns are they, he, and she. I've been your GM and executive producer. You can find me on Twitter and on itch at by Connie Chong. By is in the authorial sign-off, not the sexuality, though I am both. And yeah, our next session is going to be next Saturday, May 8th, I believe, at 3 p.m. U.S. Central Time, 1 p.m. Pacific, and 4 p.m. Eastern. So tune in for that. Thank you for the new follows and the subs and the donos, and I'll pass along introductions to Devin.
Hello, everyone. My name's Devin. I use they, them pronouns. I played Manaya, the volleyball champion, no matter what Bamba says. And you can find me on our Discord server, where we post pictures of our pets and theorize about the campaign. Talk to us about the beach episode. If you were there, what would your outfit look like? And I'll pass introductions on to Erica.
Hi, everybody. I'm Erica. She, her pronouns. I did play Vinox Scherzo, and my next thing I got coming up this coming weekend, I am doing the Game On to End Lupus campaign. I'm going to be doing a fundraiser all weekend long. I'll still be here next Saturday, but from Friday through Sunday, I'm going to be streaming a lot on my channel. So go give me a follow, Erica New Girl. Resident Evil 8 comes out Friday. I'll be playing it all weekend. Ooh, tall vampire lady, just like Rev. OMG. Take it away, Max.
Hey, I'm Max. I go by they, them pronouns. I played Resident Socks and Sandals Dad, Dewey Quirk. You can find me mostly on Instagram at Stitchmonger. I'm planning on dropping pictures of a trans lesbian half and half masks, so that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna pass it to C.
Hi, my name is C. I played our local god taxi, Okahye. That's what I'm going to start calling them now. Our god taxi. And crab connoisseur. I am a dancer by trade. I'm also a digital artist and a tabletop role player. You can find me doing stuff on Twitter at @PieSharpArt. You can also find me streaming on my own channel at @pie_sharp. And that is where I will be. And I'll pass our introductions over to our incredible guest, B. Thank you so much for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure to play with you today. I had so much fun.
Heck, thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me just be absolutely absurd for like 2 hours straight, and then y'all just ran with it, because that is my ideal game. So this was just everything to me. Plus, Connie, your voices absolutely kill me dead. So that was wonderful. Thank you. So yes, I have been your busy non-binary B Zelda. You can find me on Twitter as @B_Zelda, add an extra underscore if you want to follow me on Instagram. I am a podcaster. I'm a member of the Broadswords. It is a 5e D&D podcast. I am a regular streamer, not on my own channel, because I'm one of those odd people that just stream every day of the week on other people's channels. After this, I'm going to be over on Roll20, not streaming, but moderating. They are raising some money for Stop Appy. How do we say that with our mouth words? I've always just said APPI.
Yeah, AAPI, I think is just referring it to the acronym.
Okay. And they're killing it. so far. So I'm going to hang out over there, moderate chat, and otherwise you can catch me on a variety of different tabletop streaming channels. Follow me on Twitter to figure out my schedule because I don't know my own schedule.
Wonderful. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for donating, for subbing, for tuning in, for supporting B. It really means so much to us. And we will see you next week, Saturday, May 8th at 3 p.m. U.S. Central Time right here for Arc 3, Episode 1. Stick around for the raid. We are raiding Critical Bard, who is playing Dungeons & Dragons. He's awesome. And we love you all. Peace out. See you next week and follow B on stuff. Bye.